From dizzying cliff falls to massive crashes, these viral videos are taking over screens across America. Some say the falls are not natural, but man-made to attract views. Is that true? Why do penguin chicks just 3 weeks old leap off cliffs nearly 100 feet high? Because the ocean is their only path to survival. And why do wood ducks drop from nests 60 feet up? It's instinct, yet every fall puts fragile lives at risk. Wild boars raiding farm fields isn't new, but have you ever wondered what paths they take to get there? In search of food, they cross treacherous mountain ridges, sometimes even falling from the cliffs in their desperate journey. On a treacherous Himalayan cliff, a snow leopard chases its prey, both falling 300 feet. This raw, unscripted moment was caught on camera. It is the fury of nature. It will not be gentle with anyone, only animals learn to overcome it. In the majestic Alps, an eagle swoops down from the sky. Otmar Pinker, a perfect attack by the ruler of the skies, captured this moment. Don't take your eyes off it, because in just a split second, you will see the true power of this legendary bird of prey. When a black bear falls from a tree into the middle of a city, it's a warning. Free-falling bodies send panic crowds crashing to the ground with brute force. These animals aren't just lost, they're a menace waiting to happen. These free falls leave innocent young ones exposed to trauma. The carcasses left behind become a source of pollution, attracting lazy predators who wait for an easy meal instead of hunting for themselves. The result is a dangerous imbalance in the ecosystem. It is not suicide but instinct that drives them to seek new lands, to escape from crowded dens. Missteps make them fall. Their desperate journey to survive is not our program, but the harshness of nature. The high mountains are not the special challenge, but the rushing water makes the king of the green forest bow his head. Lions can swim, but the raging currents will struggle to survive in South Africa. One of the most tragic wildlife events in recent history was the mass fall of walruses from Arctic cliffs. Hundreds of them fell from cliffs over 260 feet high. They were a direct result of melting sea ice, forcing walruses to move into dangerous territory. Ranchers must move horses over flimsy wooden bridges and take the shortest but riskiest route. They may choose longer detours to avoid damage, reducing costs in time and requiring rescue teams to be more active in responding to horse fall. One slip, one flawed instinct, and a life is over in the blink of an eye. A call to action. Conservation teams need nets, monitoring and early intervention now before the next noise causes dire consequences for innocent young monkeys. In 2025, there were at least 3 attacks in Lake Kissimmee, as well as incidents in Martin County and Collier County. They roam around yards and even knock on doors, causing panic among residents. If you live near a standing body of water, consider installing a high fence. Never feed them, as they will become accustomed to it and return. In North America, grackles flock to parking lots in winter. In excess numbers, the high nitrogen and phosphorus content of bird droppings can increase environmental pollution, with nutrient concentrations increasing 50 to 200% above normal levels, creating a risk of histoplasmosis from the dry droppings. I think you should wear a protective mask, and if you have any unusual symptoms, get checked out. Recent footage shows black bears increasingly appearing in residential areas, treating people's yards as their natural territory. This reflects the shrinking of habitat and the increasing risk of conflict. In this context, electric fences are seen as a practical solution. Why are mountain lions increasingly approaching human settlements? They are hungry or can hunt prey like deer more easily near human homes, according to a study from Colorado. It's not just keeping your distance, keeping your doors closed and turning on your lights at night, because even the slightest mistake can let in an uninvited guest and cause chaos. The venom of giant lizards can cause hypotension and infection if bitten. They are often found in tropical regions of South Asia. It is not safe to catch them directly by hand because their bite force and reflexes are very fast. The best solution is to reinforce doors and screens in the house and notify the rangers for timely handling. A small store in Colombia was suddenly turned into a battlefield by a herd of escaped cows. They charged straight into the store, knocked over shelves, and then stood there unharmed. Fortunately, no one was injured. When you see a herd of cows in front of you, do not try to walk through or approach them. Stay at least 30 feet away, move to the side, and find solid cover. Do you know which species usually move in herds, and in July to August when mating season begins? If you see a bison lowering its head and kicking its hind legs, immediately find a higher ground, a mound, to create a natural barrier. Taking advantage of the bison's characteristics of not climbing slopes and not changing direction while running, this is a safe way to escape. Moose antlers are not to be taken lightly, as they can pose a serious hazard to vehicles. Hundreds of collisions with moose antlers occur on North American roads each year. Turn on your hazard lights and contact authorities for safety assistance, but do not attempt to do this yourself if you are inexperienced. In Thailand in 2021, when tourism declined due to the pandemic, the food source from tourists also disappeared. As a result, hundreds of monkeys from temples flooded into the city. Surprisingly, humans were the indirect agents when changing travel habits. They accidentally caused the monkeys to lose their food source and flood into the city in search of food. Africa, a giant forest elephant weighing nearly 14,000 pounds suddenly broke into a house on the edge of the village. It was frightened by the lights and the sound of the engine, then angrily broke the door. In this situation, the people need to immediately retreat safely, not make more noise, and call the rangers to handle the situation. I'm Jack Harlan, a journalist covering hunting in the American West for over 20 years, writing for Peterson's Hunting and Yellowstone Journal since 2005. I've seen the coyote crisis unfold. Real stories from Montana's area of control to social media backlash changing lives. Coyotes seem like pests, but are we the cause? Critics call hunters cruel, yet who's asking why this conflict persists? Whether coyote hunting is right or wrong. Let's see what happens next. In 2018, I visited a Wyoming farmer who shared how coyotes had severely impacted his sheep flock in just 1 week. Coyotes have been a persistent problem since the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, when dust storms weakened livestock, making them easy targets. According to the USDA Wildlife Service, coyotes cause millions in economic losses to the livestock industry each year. However, they also play a role in controlling rodent populations, indirectly protecting crops from pests like voles. The core problem is the rapid growth of the coyote population due to their high reproductive rate. One of the standout methods I witnessed was aerial control, an approach that dates back to the 1930s and is still used today. A small plane hovers low over the vast grasslands of New Mexico, where I took my first flight in 2012 with Wildlife Services. The plane flies low to the ground to observe and intervene with a moving herd of coyotes, using its wide field of vision to access difficult terrain. This method works well in open terrain, where coyotes have difficulty hiding and can temporarily reduce populations in specific areas. However, the challenge lies in the coyote's adaptability, learning to avoid them by hiding in bushes or rough terrain, which complicates coyote hunting. Moving on to ground control, this is the traditional method I have observed on many ranches, which involves using a gun from the ground to directly intervene. Hunters use rabbit calls to attract coyotes within 50 to 100 yards, pique their curiosity. In 2023, 20,000 coyotes were managed using traditional hunting, according to Arizona wildlife records, especially during the open season. The hunter missed once, the wind changed direction, and the coyote was gone in seconds. If you successfully go coyote hunting, do you know the answer? Trapping is another approach I have followed since 2010 in Illinois, focusing on the use of wire or wire traps for passive coyote control. Traps are carefully placed along familiar coyote trails in snow-covered grasslands where tracks are easily identified. This method is most effective in the winter months of November through March, when food is scarce and coyotes travel farther, reducing their vigilance. Best management practices, BMPs, recommend the use of scientifically researched traps to ensure selectivity and humanness. However, common mistakes of placing traps incorrectly or neglecting to check the terrain can lead to poor results. And new guidelines in 2025 emphasize avoiding these mistakes to increase effectiveness. Trapping requires knowledge of coyote behavior, which avoids human areas in the summer while caring for the next generation. These methods, whether aerial, ground, or trapping, often draw backlash from the community, especially when the content goes viral on social media. I noted a case in 2019 in Osage County, where a coyote control video led to criticism from organisations like the Humane Society, which said it was inhumane. These backlashes can lead to negative messaging that can impact the personal lives of those involved. The problem is that social media can magnify events, making images misleading, and highlighting the importance of being aware of how information is shared. Leave a comment on this issue to find common ground. The hunt was in full swing as the R-44 Raven II helicopter, renowned for its reliability and responsive handling, roared into the West Texas countryside, shattering the rural tranquility. From above, the gunners surveyed the devastation below, with ploughed fields and ravaged crops, a testament to the destructive power of an estimated 2.6 million wild hogs in Texas alone, causing 400 million 0 cents in annual agricultural damage. With the helicopter's low-speed tail rotor blades keeping noise to a minimum, the team quickly descended onto the rugged terrain. The hunters fired rapid bursts from their rifles, picking off each wild hog as their carcasses littered the fields. The tension was palpable as the precision of the helicopter's movements delivered clean shots, ensuring no hog would escape the chase. As the hunt intensified, the wild hog's cunning nature tested the team's preparations. Hurtling through tall grass and dense forests, the animals attempted to outwit the aerial pursuit across 2.5 million acres of West Texas game land. The pilots, taking advantage of the R-44's aerodynamic design and hydraulic controls, descended to flush the hogs from cover, giving the shooters a chance. The hunters clutched their rifles, tracking the panicked herds from above, the hunters' gunshots echoing across the plains. Each shot was targeted, bringing down the hogs with precision despite their erratic movements. The coordination between the pilots and hunters, honed by the experienced staff of Texas helicopter boar hunting, kept the team relentless, leaving the fields quiet except for the echo of the rotor blades. To ensure safety during these high-intensity aerial hunts, strict protocols are followed. Hunters are limited to a combined weight of 430 pounds per flight, with no individual exceeding 300 pounds, to maintain the R-44 helicopter stability and performance. Each marksman is secured with safety harnesses, preventing falls during sharp maneuvers, over West Texas's rugged terrain. Firearms are handled with rigorous discipline, with hunters trained to maintain muzzle control and fire only when the pilot signals a stable shooting window. Clear communication between the pilot and hunters, often via headsets, ensures precise coordination, minimising risks in the chaotic pursuit of fast-moving boars. To understand why these hunters take on wild hogs from the air, we must consider the deeper reasons driving this intense pursuit. The need for aerial hunts is further highlighted by the real dangers wild hogs pose to people. In South Texas, a hunter once suffered severe injuries, requiring 83 stitches after a hog attacked him in a cactus thicket while he was hunting with dogs, leaving lasting scars as a reminder of the animal's ferocity. And what can we do to prevent further deterioration? Helicopter hunts, while effective, are only part of the solution. Efforts such as large-scale trapping, reinforced fencing, and research into biological controls to limit hog reproduction are gaining traction. Through close collaboration between hunters, landowners, and local governments, these combined strategies seek to create a lasting defense, protecting both the environment and the agricultural heartland of West Texas from this relentless invader. to manage bear populations and protect crops. Farmers in the West often rely on legally regulated black bear hunting. These hunts can last anywhere from 5 to 12 days, requiring intense focus. Equipped with high-caliber rifles, hunters aim to take down 400-pound bears from distances of 60 to 90 yards, which is no easy feat. Every year between 1,000 and 1,800 permits are issued, depending on the bear population and environmental factors. Spring and fall are the most critical seasons, as bears are actively foraging or waking up from hibernation. However, bear hunting is never easy. Hunters face cliffs, dense forests and difficult terrain, often moving at a slow pace of 0.5 miles per hour to avoid detection. Bears are highly intelligent and hunters must rely on signs like scat and claw marks to track them, but the pursuit is never straightforward. Weather adds another layer of difficulty. Rain or snow can obscure tracks, turning what is already a challenging task into a long and exhausting chase. In black bear hunting, technology plays a vital role in tracking and safety, but at the heart of it all is the power of the large caliber rifle that makes the difference. The pressure to hit the target is intense, as bears can be unpredictable and dangerous if startled. With rifles capable of shooting from 50 to 80 yards, one wrong move can turn the hunter into the hunted. The stakes are high, so a bear hunting trip requires a hunter to be fully equipped, or it will be a waste of money. You have the choice to hunt recklessly or play by the rules. When bear hunting, the right tools can make all the difference. Modern technology like GPS-enabled tracking devices is essential to pinpointing bears and increasing safety. Hunters rely on these devices to keep track, ensuring they are not caught off guard. In some areas, hunters work in teams of 2 to 5, using a combination of high-tech gadgets and teamwork to navigate difficult terrain. Success can be increased by up to 60% through careful planning, tracking, and communication. Additionally, the right equipment, like noise-cancelling headphones, which allow hunters to hear animal movements and protect their hearing from gunfire, can reduce the risk of injury by up to 95%. For farmers, humane measures like solar-powered electric fences offer a solution to keeping bears out without causing harm. These fences, which transmit 5,000 to 10,000 volts of electricity, are effective in blocking 95% of bear intrusions, ensuring both crop protection and wildlife safety. Have you ever faced the challenge of tracking an animal in harsh conditions? Your experience will help the American people a lot. Even with effective hunting techniques, the growing bear population is severely impacting the livelihoods of farmers. Around 30,000 crop damage incidents are reported annually. In the eastern US, for example, 50 acres of corn were ruined in 72 hours, costing $60,000, 0 cents. Weighing up to 400 pounds, black bears break corn stalks easily, creating large damage patterns visible from above. Families of bears, often with cubs, further amplify the damage and pose safety risks to rural communities. Environmental factors including changing weather patterns and food shortages in natural habitats have pushed bears to forage on farmlands more frequently.
Invasive wild boars are becoming a serious threat to both farms and ecosystems. In particular, male pigs can cause great damage to agriculture. People have to deal with wild boars digging and destroying the soil environment, reducing crop productivity. However, they usually only invade farms when natural food becomes scarce. So why has their food source been reduced so drastically? That is due to the expansion of agricultural land exploitation for cultivation. The second reason is that the destruction of natural habitats also reduces their food source. And the third reason is that their weight also affects their food search. As a 110 pounds male wild boar requires approximately 4,000 to 4,500 calories of food per day. Their great weight not only puts great pressure on natural food sources but also causes serious damage to farms. Each year, their invasion causes heavy damage to farmers' vegetation, affecting agricultural production and the local economy. When faced with the problem of wild boar infestations, Florida residents have found an effective solution with the use of the hogfoot snare trap. Every day, they install a series of these traps in quantities of 5 to 10. To install traps, people choose locations that are paths or areas where wild boars often look for food. But before installation, they need to prepare carefully by checking and cleaning the area where the trap is located and removing obstructions that may interfere with the trap. The trap setting process begins with choosing a suitable location and digging a deep hole to place the trap. They then carefully install the trap into the hole, making sure it was firmly fixed and didn't move when a wild boar entered. Once the trap has been installed, people need to regularly check and maintain it to ensure effectiveness. Thanks to the implementation and careful management of the hogfoot snare trap, Floridans have been able to minimize the impact of feral swine on their farms and habitats while protecting their habitat. An integral part of the trapping process is the preparation of the bait. The process of preparing bait to trap wild pigs in Florida requires care and thoroughness. In particular, people here often use corns as the main ingredient. To enhance the bait's effectiveness, corn is often mixed with orange jello, an attractive flavor and used to attract wild boars. Mixing corn with orange jello not only increases the appeal of the bait, but also helps it retain its scent and flavor longer, making it easier for wild boars to detect and approach. What has happened is that using the above method, using lick traps and bait has proven its effectiveness in controlling wild boars. Every day, the number of wild boars caught in traps has increased significantly in 2023. Through the use of traps, people have detected a significant increase in the number of wild boars caught. This is a positive sign that this method is working, helping them protecting their crops and property from wild boars. However, the question remains whether capturing wild boars is the final and most effective solution. Are there other methods they could use to prevent wild boars from entering more effectively? Comment below and share your views in using lick traps to control feral swine in Florida. Another method of dealing with wild boars is to use net traps, which are more effective and convenient than iron traps. The net trapping process is considered more effective, and the outstanding feature is that it can catch many wild boars in one trapping session. Setting net traps usually does not take much time compared to iron traps due to the simple and quick installation process. First, people place nets next to large fields. Lures are usually placed in the center of the trap, so they can easily get caught in the net. Every time they invade, a large number of wild boar populations can be captured, increasing efficiency and reducing people's time and effort. Are you curious about how net traps works? Net traps are often designed to activate when a wild boar collides with the net. At that time, the trap will automatically collapse, making the pig trapped and the net unable to escape. This mechanism often includes the use of surrounding columns to hold the net. This creates a closed cage-like mesh trap structure, preventing wild boars from escaping without harming them. Although trapping to control feral swine shows promise, significant challenges remain. Cost is one of the important factors, with costs associated with purchasing the traps, transporting them, and maintaining them. At the same time, Florida's harsh and varied terrain also increases the difficulty of setting traps and maintaining them. Carrying out the trapping process also requires careful management and organization. However, by overcoming these challenges, Floridians can continue to develop effective methods to control feral swine and protect their habitat. Comment number 1 if you agree with the net trap method. Comment number 0 if you agree with the lick trap method.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.